Do you want to introduce yourself first or shall I?
You go first. I feel like it's better
Okay.
for you to do it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lucy,
Hi, I'm Aaron,
and welcome to FBFW, the pod.
where we're here to talk about all the I do's
I don't.
and everything in between.
Welcome, everyone. This is the first one of many, we hope.
Of course, it will be.
The first thing I want to talk about is Katie Price, Peter Andre.
Oh, we're starting strong with that one.
We are, because it shocked me.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about it then, because I've seen a couple of things, but I haven't really seen
So,
much.
Katie Price and Peter Andre, apparently, according to her, she was on the We Need to Talk podcast with Paul Brunson.
No idea who that is.
The lovely bald-headed man that's on Celebs Go Dating, is it? No, Married at First Sight. The lovely bald-headed man that helps everyone. Anyway,
no idea.
Besides the point. So Katie Price went on there and basically said her and Peter Andre haven't spoken since they got a divorce.
How long have they been divorced though?
Like over 10 years.
What, and they've never spoke once?
No, they've been
not one little time.
All through lawyers.
That's
even
crazy.
About the kids. All through lawyers.
With no, I don't get how that works though.
So basically, she speaks to a lawyer, her lawyer speaks to his lawyer, and then his lawyer speaks to him.
Yeah, but don't you think, imagine if you just want to send a message like, I don't know, Junior needs a new football kit, and it takes 4 working days to come back and say, yeah, okay, which one? And then it comes back 5 days later to say, maybe the orange one. I don't know, is there orange football kits? But
I don't know, but yeah, because surely with like little things, you'd just message each other.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually have to speak to each other.
So like if they want to, like, I don't know, if you wanted to not sound abuse, but if you wanted to just
you wanted to slate the other person.
If you were like, oh my gosh, you didn't do this, or you sent my child back with dirty socks, you haven't changed, like you put her hair in pigtails, I don't like them, like you couldn't just text and be like, how dare you?
You'd send it
telepathically, I say.
like, I hate you so much.
So how many years have they been divorced?
How old's the oldest one? Like 16, 18, isn't he?
That's
and
crazy.
They've been divorced for at least 10 years, I want to say.
That's crazy.
Another celeb couple though, speaking of celeb couples, segue. Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber.
The controversial
comment. What are your thoughts?
So, to give an overview of it, what did he say? So, Hailey Bieber got the cover of Vogue, and then he posted a sort of congratulations. It wasn't your usual congratulations post. It was very much... You explain it better because you saw the actual post, didn't you?
He basically posted a photo of her Vogue cover, and this isn't word for word, but he put, this reminds me of a time when we were having a fight and I told you you'd never be on the cover of Vogue. And it went on. It carried on going.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you proved me wrong, or something along those lines.
Congratulations, Hailey Bieber. You proved him wrong.
Congratulations, Hailey Bieber on the cover of Vogue. She also trolled everyone in her Vogue cover shoot video. It was actually quite funny. She pulled out like 7 phones. It was like, this one I used to comment hate on people. This one I used to stalk people.
Oh, wow.
like,
That's amazing.
Big Sagittarius energy. But everyone was saying how they were not okay with it. Like because of how he wrote it. But I also think if that was anyone else, people have read into it way too much. He has also now since changed the caption.
So the fact that he didn't stand 10 toes down and like say it completely with his chest and was like, but it was a joke between me and her, the fact that he's now removed it signals to me that maybe even she was like, oh, like, babe, you didn't need to post that. Did you really need to?
But then I feel
Is he having a bad time?
I feel like
was he drunk?
What was going on?
What was going on in the Bieber household?
Anything he would have said though, people would have read into it. Like if he just put the emojis originally, people would have been like, why is he just putting emojis and not saying
why didn't he actually put words in? But to just be like don't let people into your home like that. To like, you didn't need to say in that moment you're never going to be on the cover of Vogue. Like, bitch, I'm going to be on the cover of Vogue.
I am Vogue. I just think no matter what he said, people would have had a problem with it.
Yeah. I just think why can't you just have been like, congratulations, babe, you're stunning, you're my everything.
Or
Congratulations.
just nothing. Just commented on the post like, well done, babe.
Yeah,
Love
like
you.
that's my wife. Not
That's
to be
my
like,
wife.
I once in a fight told you weren't going to be on the cover.
And now you're on the cover.
Did she prove him wrong?
Now.
Oh God. This seems like tea, Lucy.
You are a man. I don't know how to word it with people.
Correct, I'm a man.
You are a man of the LGBTQ community.
Am I? Yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Jojo Siwa. Thoughts?
In just like Jojo Bose, like her dances, or
Just-
in what capacity?
Okay, let me rephrase.
Because you're talking about Chris
Jo-
Hughes.
Correct. Jojo Siwa, Chris Hughes. Thoughts?
Love is love. Love is love, guys. Love is love.
Love is love.
Regardless of sexuality, who it is. I know. So was she actually out as a lesbian, or was
She was out as a lesbian.
a lesbian?
I think, yeah.
Okay. And she is now seemingly fell in love with a man.
Chris Hughes before that.
Yeah. Which they met in the most weird
Weird
circumstances. Like Big Brother isn't a usual thing to do. It's like the
No.
Love Island lot. When they're in there, they fall in love within 3 days. We're looking like, but it just
Yeah.
happens.
It just happened, yeah.
So for the fact that she did that, and then now also T, guys, T. I actually saw on Instagram this morning that they were in a pool and they were smoochy.
No, like officials.
So
I've
it's
seen that they're actually
so
boyfriend,
it's always been
girlfriend now.
allegedly like they're like hand holding, like touchy feely, but an actual 4K court kissing, not court kissing. They knew that people were taking pictures, so they're ready to now tell people like, no, this is actually what it is. And I think whoever you love, and they've obviously built a genuine connection. And regardless if she was a lesbian, she's evidently bisexual, or even if she isn't, stand 10 toes down and you're a lesbian. But Chris Hughes, she obviously thinks is fair, so she's like, why not dabble?
And she has dabbled.
Depending on whether you're fluid in that, I mean, you can just be gay or you can just be a lesbian. But if you can be all of them and that's what you want to do, why not? I don't get why so much stick is sort of attached with them.
I think everyone's big thing was that she was in a relationship at the time.
So she was in a relationship when she went into Big Brother.
When she went into Big Brother, she was in a relationship.
But now she's not.
Well,
I mean, she is with Chris Hughes, just not with her girlfriend anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that little bit's a little bit murky, but if they didn't do anything prior to that, but they did build an emotional connection while she was still with someone, which I actually would consider cheating.
I would think that's worse, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I think an emotional connection with someone is worse than like actually physically cheating.
So I think as it stands now, if it's just like a lesbian who has now decided she wants to be straight for a while, or if forever, that's what she wants to do. Guys, leave them alone. Leave Jojo alone.
Well, if she comes, we just casually see her at Gloucester Services.
Yeah, because he's local.
He is local.
He is local.
He's a local lad.
Yeah, we've heard some things, haven't we?
We know some things. Allegedly.
Wait, so I gave my opinion. Did you want to give yours? Or were you just happy with me just being like...
I don't really have an opinion. Because...
Which isn't very good if we're going to create a podcast. I feel like we need to be
opinionated. But like,
opinionated.
as in like you said, I do what you want to do.
Yeah. Love is love.
She's not... My favourite thing was Abby Lee Miller getting involved. That was the best thing.
I didn't see that.
They were on like the Today Show or something like that, one of the American TV shows, and Abby Lee Miller was there, and she just goes, "I saw JoJo sitting on some handsome man's lap," and I was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, I didn't think she was still around.
No, me neither.
Bless her in a big harem wheelchair.
Right. Also, is it controversial? I don't know whether it's because of the age I am. I still depict her as being a child
I
because I've
still
seen
think
her as a
she's,
child
like,
star.
12, yeah.
And then, so I just feel it's really strange to see her out in the public eye and really catapulting herself into like
Yeah.
UK culture when in theory we see her as like, I don't know, like 7.
I get what you mean. You still see her as 7 even though she's 22.
So it's strange to now see her with like
Chris Hughes.
some Love Island guy. Let's not actually, no, put some respect on. He's not just some Love Island guy, like he is Chris Hughes. Like he's doing really, really well for himself.
What has Chris Hughes been in recently, apart from Big Brother?
Love Island. He did Chris and Kem on
About
tour.
700 years ago.
I mean, I still feel like that season of Love Island, though, they've all done great things. That was like the Love Island OGs. Was it season 3?
Well, Olivia Atwood started throwing shade on his name with the whole thing as well. So.
Ooh. Like, she's doing amazing.
She is. You will have no idea who this woman is. I'm just going to put that out there right now. But I want to show you her wedding dresses. Because Phoebe Tonkin, I want to say Tolkien, but I know it's not. Who, if you guys don't know, is a Vampire Diaries actress. She was also Cleo. No, the condensation.
I totally know who you're going on about. She was was she a werewolf in Originals, or was she a vampire?
One of the two.
One of the two.
Either one.
I mean,
I've not watched it,
she didn't
so
have many other choices. Okay, I know who you're talking about.
All I know is she was Cleo.
Oh no, Cleo!
Just add H2O. Anyway, that's not the theme tune. I started singing H2O. What do you think there?
To know you know how you feel about me, so give me a comment.
Recently got married in custom Chanel, and then she also Big Slay. She also had a what do Americans call it? The rehearsal dinner.
Yes, that they have the night before.
Controversial dress, the newspaper dress. We'll put a photo on screen. Editor Lucy will put a photo on screen.
Newspaper dress.
Newspaper dress.
I adore that. So is that just a generic newspaper, or is that a wedding newspaper?
I don't know. See, I couldn't find anything that said whether it was like anything to do with her and written her, or whether it was just a newspaper dress.
Big hot trend that's been sort of rolling around for about what? How long was that for?
Sorry, producer Hattie's just letting us know that Aaron is exposing himself on.
I think the newspaper dress, so a really big, huge, hot thing that's been happening for like 2 years, that's really been like hot off the press, no pun intended, is a wedding newspaper. So it's a personalised newspaper that couples will have that sort of like order of the service, who the bridal party are, the groomsmen, basically everything to do with their wedding. How special would that be
if it was?
It was their actual wedding newspaper and she created it into obviously a custom silk gown, but it's her wedding newspaper. Take notes, guys. No longer will there be a wedding newspaper.
It'll be a wedding newspaper dress.
So this is the lace Bardo, huge veil.
Yeah.
So nice. I feel like her glam's perfect for it as well, because I feel like the lace is very overpowering, but nicely.
Yeah, and she's not, because they had a church wedding, like an actual church wedding, which I think is surprising for a celebrity couple to be in an actual church. You don't see.
Well, they're obviously religious. I mean, do you need to? Yeah. I mean, you don't.
Depends on the church.
Yeah.
I also think I couldn't 100% tell because a lot of their photos were in black and white, but I think the bridesmaids were in all black silk as well, which is
big slay. And that is like my most favorite thing you can do is if you're like all your guests are in all black. I think to have a black tie wedding, but I would personally be super strict and be like, every single person needs to wear black. Like, I wouldn't even allow a male to wear a black suit with a white shirt.
What would really annoy me?
Go.
If everyone was in blacks, but none of the blacks matched.
Because you can't, there's like a bluey black and then like a grey one and then it's all different.
Faded black.
I mean, I would hope to God someone wouldn't turn up to a wedding in a faded black. Unless you buy it like that.
Yeah, but then it's like that's
Don't
not
buy
black.
acid wash black suits and go to a wedding, guys.
No,
If it's monochrome and it's black
it
tie,
needs to be black.
make sure it's dark black. Dark
No,
black?
that would annoy me so much. Imagine a group photo and there's just that one person whose shade of black is slightly off. I'd edit them out.
We would have to
I'd edit them out.
edit them out.
Big versus small weddings. Does size matter?
Does it matter, guys? Does size
size
matter?
Does size matter?
It's subjective. You can.
It is very subjective.
It depends.
Depends on the mood.
It depends on how many people. It depends on how many. I don't know. It just depends on everything. Does size matter?
Does size matter? Because when you think of weddings, you think big, lavish,
Grand.
loads of people. I don't think anyone ever thinks wedding and thinks intimate.
No, I feel like it's definitely a thing. I mean, intimate weddings have always been a thing, but it's definitely a thing now. And I think the main thing to contribute towards that is obviously cost of living, for one.
Yeah.
And then also, people just like more intimate moments.
I think it also depends on your culture too.
100%, definitely. Because I think it would either be a big, huge, grand, culture rich, you'd have doll players, you would have barat, all of those things, which obviously you would find would have like 200, 300, 400 people. Or you would have people that would literally just want 15 of you on a cliffside in Santorini.
Living your best life.
Living your best life.
Yeah.
So it is. There's a lot to. I feel like there's so much you go into with big versus small. I honestly believe it depends on the person.
There's pros and cons of each.
I agree.
Because I remember when Nick Jonas got married, so obviously his wife Priyanka is Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they had like a 3-day wedding.
Yeah.
And his brothers were taking the absolute mick out of him.
Because it was so constant.
Wedding, whereas then you had Joe Jonas, who got legally married in Vegas by Elvis.
It's just worlds apart though, isn't it?
It is.
But then it just depends, obviously, which one you would prefer. Would you like the attention being on you for...
Would you think doing a small wedding is less stressful than a big wedding? Or do you think they'd be on par?
I feel like planning a wedding is stressful anyway, guys. If you think it's going to be a breeze, it's not. It's not. So I just think, regardless, if, let's say, lead time, so if you book your wedding and you have 3 months to plan it and then it happens within 3 months, regardless of whether it's big or small, and the same if you've got 2 years to do it, it just depends on how you are as a person, whether you would find things stressful, whether you would get a wedding planner, or whether you would get people that would help you as a team. And everything depends on budget.
I do like the idea though, like the best of both worlds, where you have like a really small, intimate courthouse wedding, and then you go do a destination wedding.
So I'm about to say something because I have basically in my brain planned my entire wedding, and there's 2 of them. One's a destination, one is a UK. Destination 1, super intimate, 15 people. I will revert back to cliffside in Santorini because that's exactly what I want. Really small dinner table, loads of candlelight, and just like my favourite ever people. Mm-hmm. But I'd want my UK one to be
massive.
I would say probably 150, 200 people. I want that big, huge, stately home UK wedding.
See, I couldn't think of anything worse.
Really?
Couldn't think of anything worse. The thought of walking down an aisle in front of loads of people
is my absolute dream.
I would get too stressed. I also feel like I don't have a very big family either. So like my family would be max 10 people.
Yeah. I think actually, do you know what? I think I've gone a bit overboard by saying 150. Maybe not. Maybe like 8. Yeah, I feel like I chose 150. I literally just said. Can you make sure that the camera stays exactly where it's...
She said, not today.
She said, don't tell me what to do. But yeah, 150 people, I think I maybe went a little bit overboard. I would say 80, which 80
like,
is sort of UK average.
Maybe 125.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe 149. Yeah, 80 is sort of UK average. Most wedding venues now, if you go, it's sort of based on 50 and then it's sort of like upgraded for like extra guests, or it's usually based on 80, which I feel like I could get 80.
My thing is, I don't want to pay for that many people's food.
So then that's why people are going into these more intimate weddings, and also they're going into these more informal weddings where you're
like
buying
buffets
and stuff. So you get a venue which is dry hire, which people who don't know, if you dry hire a wedding venue, you literally get the wedding venue as a shell. And then you go and you can take all your caterers, all your decor, all your everything, and you do it. Hire in a wedding, you can just go in and you can do whatever you want. So that's why when people want less cost, they do it that way. But like what you said, you don't want to pay for 80 people to eat.
You don't, because what if you pay for that and then someone doesn't turn up? Rude.
Also, if you get invited to a wedding and you're lucky enough to get invited to a wedding, these people are paying for your ass to be on that seat and eat their food.
When it's about them.
Don't just either not turn up or don't just not RSVP. It's so rude.
Why you gotta be so rude?
Yeah, I just feel like don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
But if we're going to say, so would you go big or small?
Small.
I'd go big. Yeah.
I'd go small. I think. Sorry.
Does size matter?
It depends.
Does size... Lucy, does... It does depend. What do you guys think? Do you think size matters?
It's introverted or extroverted, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think the size of your wedding matters, whether you're going to have a big or a small or anything like that? Drop it in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know.
Get your minds out the gutter, guys. It's not what we meant.
Exactly. We're mature adults.
We are mature.
Mature. As we're called for better for worse, we thought we would do something called for better or for worse.
A new game.
Really creative with the name and things.
For better, for worse.
So, shall I do one and then you do one? So go between.
Let's go for it.
So, first, for better for worse, let us know what you guys think as well in the comments below. Mini wedding dresses.
For worse.
Okay.
So I say for worse only because to actually have your wedding dress small.
Yeah.
Reception dress.
Amen.
Slay.
Yeah.
Actual wedding dress, apart from, now we've had this discussion before, Kourtney Kardashian's Italian wedding dress, Dolce & Gabbana, custom made, it was short, huge veil, so it's just like...
But I still think she should have had, even if it wasn't like long, it should have been sheer to the floor.
Yeah, because I've always really liked it on her. I feel like it really suited. You didn't, did you?
I just think she should have had it sheer to the floor.
Yeah. So I think mini wedding dress for worse.
Yeah, same. I think
mini reception dress
for better.
Okay. Our next one is live wedding painters.
For worse.
Why?
Because one, I'm going to be logical now.
Go on.
One, you're paying for it when you've got a photographer that's going to take all the photos that you could just get this live wedding painter to paint afterwards.
Which they do that.
Cool. So why do you need them there on the day?
Because it's not the gimmick, that's the wrong word, but it's the special part. Like, they're there to really witness that moment. Also, if you didn't tell, mine's for better. Like, I really like this.
If you couldn't tell.
They're there in that moment. They are at your ceremony, and what they'll do is they'll pick a still from that moment and then paint around it, and they're there, and all your guests can see, and it's just incredible. So they get to a moment by the end of the wedding day where they're almost done, and then they take it home and then they perfect it. So it's not like you can just take it from a picture. It's part of the entertainment, which at a wedding, I'm so big on entertainment.
I just don't see it as entertaining.
But like, I'm a very artsy person. Like, would you go to a museum and look at pictures and artwork?
It's like
confusion.
Watching paint dry. Literally watching paint
dry. But I think it's really, really special. I like it. I mean,
sweet. I just think it's not worth it.
Sometimes I watch the ones on like Doom's Gone on TikTok, and if I ever get to like live wedding painters, do you know when you get to like to the end of it and they do like their thing of what they've done, and you think, why is her jawline so awful? That doesn't look right. So I feel like to get the right one, but I've seen live wedding painters that have been absolutely incredible.
Do you know what I do like? A
caricaturist.
That one.
No, I only like that on the Strip in Ibiza.
No, but having one of them, I would say, I would prefer having a
caricaturist
at my wedding for the guests than having a live wedding painter for me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it just depends, really, doesn't it? But mine is definitely for better.
Hometown weddings.
For worse. For worse. For worse.
So Aaron's answer is for worse. I would say it depends. I think if you've got a massive family that all live in one place, for better, because you don't have to travel. I think if you're
with that logic.
If you don't have like a homegrown hometown morale, for worse.
Around my hometown, May. Okay, so you, where we are, where you live, hometown wedding.
No.
Exactly, so you can't answer that.
Yeah, but
okay. So just personally,
for worse, I'd want to get
married. For worse, we don't want to get married around here, guys.
But when we think hometown, are we saying like directly hometown, or are we talking about surrounding areas?
Hometown.
Okay.
Hometown, 10-mile radius.
Oh, for worse.
But to be fair, where we live, we are really, really lucky. There are some gorgeous, gorgeous wedding venues. We could
go destination wedding in Birmingham.
No, let's not give Birmingham a bad rap. They've got some great ones too.
They've got the bull ring.
For a wedding.
They've got Zara.
Okay, so, and then hometown weddings for me is a big, big no-no. I think you're getting married, you want to go away. Yeah, if you have a huge family, but also if I have a huge family who are really close to you and are going to come to your wedding, they will travel. Why would you, like, there's going to be places around the UK or even destination that are going to be important to you guys as a couple. So travel there. People will go there and travel for you. So I am for worse hometown weddings. Private vows.
Sorry, for worse. For better.
She doesn't know how to play her own game, guys.
I think private vows cute.
For better. I think they're super special.
Not as much pressure either when you're doing them just for each other, because they are just for each other.
So private vows, definitely. I think it's such a special moment to be able, in your wedding, you don't get any time with each other. And I think you speak to so many brides and grooms, and they always say, oh, I just wish that I stayed with my partner for longer, or I didn't see this, that, and the other. Like, and so to have a moment, usually it happens after the ceremony. After that, you go and you have a moment away before your confetti shot or whatever you're doing. And people really treasure that moment in the day. So to actually have a segmented moment in your wedding day where you're just reading vows to each other, I think that's so special, and I think it's for better. Depends whether you're a lovey-dovey type people, because I know some people are just not like that. So to sit there and not confess your undying love, but to be really soppy like that.
I mean, I would hope it is your undying love.
Yeah.
To get married.
But that sometimes would really put people off. I feel like some people just wouldn't want to do that. So it depends.
Big, like love language isn't speaking, is it? So photo booths. Photo boot. Get them out there. See you later. For worse.
Unfortunately, I would have to vote for worse.
Cheesy.
they can be done well.
I think if it's like a proper actual photo booth, like photo booth by Brian, if you know, you know, like actual photo booth, vintage. Cute.
Yeah.
But I feel like people do photo booths so much now. It's just like
it's so overdone. But also, that is not a new thing. But 360 photo booths.
360.
Depending on the vibe of your wedding,
yeah,
a 360 photo booth could work. Because if you're not party people or you haven't got very many people in it, it would just feel a bit awkward. But if you're having a really big party vibe, to have a 360 booth at the end or like in the party, I think it would be great.
I think people should like, they stopped doing it, but they need to bring back disposable cameras.
They're so expensive.
But
cost of living crisis. Do you know how expensive they are?
Would be as well. No?
I don't know, because let's say you have 10 tables, you need to get 10 disposable cameras. That's, if they're £25 per disposable camera, maths?
250.
250. Actually, do you know what? Now that I've just said that, it doesn't seem too much.
I feel like
but then I think you have to pay about that to get them developed.
Wedding gift.
Can people let us know how much disposable cameras are? If you have had disposable cameras, how much was it in relative to how many tables and stuff like that? I think it would be good for people to understand, because like what you've just said, a photo...
Surely it would be around the
They
same,
kind of fell off a little
more.
bit, yeah. Be nice to see. Be nice to see the difference in between those things. So I would, at this current... No, for worse. This for worse.
Current moment for
Photo
worse.
booths for worse. So the next one is rain on your wedding day.
It's like rain
on your wedding day.
Free ride.
I want to talk about rain on your wedding day. So I saw a TikTok.
Okay.
Sorry, answer. Is it for better or for worse?
No, you carry on.
No, sorry, you go. Right, take two. Rain on your wedding day, for better for worse.
My answer is, I think, for better.
Yeah.
I think it's quite fun.
Mm.
Because I think if it's your wedding day, yeah, like people want the sunshine and rainbows and all that jazz, but I think you should like the day no matter what.
Yeah. You can really lean into it different ways.
If you're too sold and holding on too much to the weather over everything, if your wedding's planned and really good and everything you want it to be, the weather should be the least of your worries.
I've never thought of it in that sort of...
And you can quote me on that.
I've never thought of it like that. It's so true. People are so just like July, August, summer weddings. Let's make sure.
Weddings, but I think
it's not about that.
Other seasons actually look a lot nicer than summer weddings.
And cheaper, guys. If you go to a winter wedding, you'll be slashing those prices enough.
And also slaying. I don't know where I was going with that.
Slaying in the snow.
I was trying to like slashing in the snow, but that sounded weird.
So I would have been for worse until the other day I was again doom scrolling on TikTok, and I saw a TikTok, and it was in the US, and this couple have got married, and it had absolutely torrential rained on their wedding day. And the photographer sent put a carousel on TikTok, and was just like, they really lent into it.
It's romantic, isn't it?
You wouldn't think on like it would be romantic,
rom-com vibes.
But yeah, when you actually think about it, so it was all very much like that blurred content, that really good aesthetic from the photographer. And they were just lying on the floor. The bridal party were running around. And when I tell you, they were dripping wet. They were absolutely soaked, but they were all just having the best time ever. So I went on the comments, and I saw one of the most incredible comments I've ever seen on TikTok. And it would just really pull at my heartstrings. And it was, a wet knot is harder to untie. It gives me chills. Like, I think that's so special. And ever since seeing that, it's almost just like, yeah, rain on your wedding day. It really, I feel, would signify that you're not untying that knot. Have you ever tried to untie a wet knot?
I can't even untie a dry knot.
Looks like you'll always be married. Divorce is not on the cards for Lucy. Marriage is yet to be yet either. That's only because she's single, guys, not because I don't think she's going to get married. Lucy's the biggest catch.
So our question to leave you guys with today is, what would have to happen on your wedding day for you to leave? For you to just get up and leave, something that would have to, like, absolutely just, you'd be like, I ain't doing this. I love you, but I ain't staying here. To just go.
Get that fire exit door, I'm out.
It's just a hole of me in the door. Just gone.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, literally.
I actually don't know. It would have to be really get extra because
it would be diabolic.
So we'd love to know, guys.
We'd love to know.
We would love to know.
Whether, like, something as simple as getting the wrong meal or getting arrested, as seeing as someone is clearly getting arrested right now. Let us know.
Let us know, guys. So how are we signing this off then, Luce?
How would you like to sign this off?
Sarah, love.
For better. For worse. So we both end up in a hearse. You can use my purse.